And welcome everyone to my brand new daily Dolphins show, Fins Nation. I'm your host, Louis Sung, and just to clarify, this is not replacing Pulse of Fins Nation. That show will still be happening on Tuesday evenings as always, but for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to break down what Dolphins fans are talking about so that you can be in the know when you chat with your fellow Dolphins diehards in the real world. Alternatively, if you want to actively join in on the discussion with some of the most dedicated Dolphins fans around, make sure you join the 3 Yards Per Carry exclusive Discord server for just $3 a month, get insider knowledge on what's going on with the team, and be able to give that smug I know something that you don't grin when you listen in on Dolphins chatter. The link to the server will be in the description below, as well as our sponsor, PrizePicks.com. PrizePicks.com is a revolutionary fantasy platform where you can now pick up to 6 different players across professional sports leagues, whether that's the NFL, NBA, MLB, one of each, it's up to you, and just choose the over or the under on those individual players' fantasy projections, whether that's individual stats or the classic fantasy point projections. They give you free squares, special Taco Tuesday promos, Flex Friday specials to where you get your money back if you lose, or you can even multiply the amount of money you normally could win. So with offers like that, it's hard to justify not signing up at this point. So use the promo code 5, that's FIVE, and they will match up to $100 on your initial deposit when you sign up. Again, that's promo code 5, spell that out, FIVE, PrizePicks.com, who we at 5 Reasons Sports are proud to have as our sponsors, just like we are also proud to have All Pro Construction Builders as our sponsors as well. Any South Florida residents out there that are looking to protect your home or business with impact-rated windows and doors, All Pro Construction Builders specialize in that very thing. They specialize in impact windows and door installations for residential and commercial properties. All Pro Construction Builders is a state-certified, licensed, and insured general contractor, and they service Miami-Dade, Monroe, Broward County. So basically, if you live in South Florida, they've got your back. They only use top-quality products that are locally made. They are family-owned and operated business where you will only deal with the owner from start to finish, and they offer competitive and affordable pricing as well as 100% financing with no upfront costs or down payment. So if you're looking for a trustworthy and reliable contractor whom offers quality service, make sure to contact All Pro Construction Builders, and they will provide you with a free estimate and help you protect your home in less than 8 weeks. Make sure you call Danny, that's the guy's name, at 305-484-4429. Again, that's Danny, 305-484-4429, and make sure to mention 5 Reasons Sports to get a 10% discount. Now let's get into the real meat and potatoes here, folks. Jalen Ramsey is a Miami Dolphin. I literally got halfway through recording my first show, and it was going to be talking about how the tampering period was coming up and how there were certain free agents the Miami Dolphins needed to look into, could potentially talk to get them to sign in and become part of the team. But Chris Grier decided he had other plans. He got up on Sunday morning and decided that he was going to absolutely wreck the NFL as we know it by trading for potentially one of the best cornerbacks in NFL history, certainly a top 5 cornerback in the NFL. Even if you think he's getting older, that he's declining, and all whatever other words you want to use to describe him. First of all, he's younger than Byron Jones was. Second of all, even if you don't think he's the best cornerback in the league right now, again, he is very easily top 5. You're gonna have a hard time convincing me there are 5 players in the league better than Jalen Ramsey. And some might even argue that Xavien Howard doesn't even qualify for that. But at least Xavien Howard, I can very safely say, is a top 10 cornerback, at least in the NFL. So somehow, through a sheer twist of fate, I suppose, because here's the compensation the Miami Dolphins had to give up to get Jalen Ramsey. You ready for this? This was why I was actually against the trade, and I thought this is what we were going to have to do. I thought for sure the Miami Dolphins would have to give up at least 1 first-round draft pick, which we don't have one this year, so it would have to be a future pick. Chris Grier managed to get Jalen Ramsey for a 3rd-round draft pick and Hunter Long. Yeah, that Hunter Long, the tight end who didn't do anything when he was here in Miami. We drafted him to basically stand there and look pretty, I guess. Chris Grier traded Hunter Long and a 3rd-rounder for one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL? Are you kidding me? My God, man. Like, you want to talk about who the Godfather is. Some people said, Pat Riley for the Miami Heat. No, let me tell you something. Chris Grier has managed to pull off deals that I did not think were possible. The Laramie Tunsil trade was just one example. Tyreek Hill last year was another example. Bradley Chubb was another example. And now here we are. We actually traded less to get arguably a better player And it's Jalen Ramsey. Now, granted, we're finding out Jalen Ramsey wanted to be in Miami. Like, he actively made it a point to put on his Twitter that this was exactly what he was praying for all along. He wanted to come to Miami. Miami was his preferred destination. He did not want to really go anywhere else. This was where he wanted to be. And let's be real for a second. Who can blame him? Who can blame him? Because look at what this Miami Dolphins roster has to offer right now. Let's just ignore the defense right now. Forget the defense. We'll get to that back in a second. You have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle as your number 1 and number 2 wide receiver. Or if you want to do it this way, you can say 1A and 1B. Because Jalen Waddle is good enough to be his own number 1 wide receiver. I firmly believe that. So you have 1A and 1B in Waddle and Hill. And we all know what Tua could do when he was healthy, throwing them the football. They were practically unstoppable for a very extended period of time. Now you add to the defense side, Jalen Ramsey. You have Bradley Chubb on one side. And I have it on good authority that Melvin Ingram coming back to Miami is, I would like to say, almost a certainty at this point. So expect that to happen. And that's a good thing because Melvin Ingram hasn't won a Super Bowl yet. And if he wants to chase one, this defense is the one he wants to be on. You have Bradley Chubb. You got rising star Jalen Phillips. Let's be very, very clear about this. Jalen Phillips is going to be a monster if he's not already. If you don't want to say he's the next Jason Taylor, you could arguably say he's the next Cameron Wake. Because there were so many almost sacks that he got last year. It's only going to be a matter of time before those almost sacks become actual sacks. And this could be the step that makes it happen. Because now not only do you have Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb on the ends, you still have Christian Wilkins and Zach Sealer, who are basically the Tim Bowens and Darryl Gardner of the modern day era for the Miami Dolphins. The only thing the Miami Dolphins are missing at this point really is a Zach Thomas type. And who knows? This is literally the first transaction of the offseason worth noting. And it's the Miami Dolphins. Of course it's them. Of course it is. Chris Greer loves to do this stuff. Because yes, the Dolphins signed Savon Ahmed to start the offseason. Okay, I mean, cool. I like Savon Ahmed. He's nothing worth writing home about, but he's there. But this is the move that tells you we're just getting started. This is the move that says we are going all in. Tua is our guy because picking up the 5th-year option on Tua Tagovailoa, which is what they already did, even that, like it made waves, kinda, but all it really did was just make a lot more people upset with all the rumors of Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, like all those people who were so desperate to see that come true. Like it just, all that did was make them upset, and some of them even doubled down. They really did. I think it was Pete Prisco who came out and said that the Dolphins are still only the 6th best team in the NFL, or the AFC rather, simply because of Tua Tagovailoa's lack of health or lack of ability. Dude, you really need to get over it. That's the honest truth. Get over yourself. Like, you're looking at this stacked roster, and you're trying to tell me that the Dolphins can't even... Are you trying to say Buffalo is better than Miami? I mean, if you want to compare and contrast quarterbacks, you might be able to argue that Josh Allen is better than Tua. I mean, as an athlete, for sure. As a quarterback, yeah, maybe still that is the case. But you're telling me that the entirety of these rosters, and you're just going to tell me that the Bills are still better than Miami? Lest you forget, Miami was already on the verge of defeating the Buffalo Bills in the wild card in Buffalo with Skylar Thompson acting as Miami's quarterback. And Josh Allen did not take the day off that day. He was there, he was playing, and they still almost lost. And now we're doing this, bringing Jalen Ramsey to Miami? And not only did we forget the players for a second, did anybody forget the upgrade we made in the coaching staff? With all due respect to Josh Boyer, because I know that there are a lot of people who like Josh Boyer, they know he's a good coach. We just upgraded to potentially the best defensive coordinator in the NFL, Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio is running this juggernaut of a defense. So some people will say, well, Jalen Ramsey doesn't fit the scheme. Oh, yeah? You really think they would have traded for this guy, paying him a lot of money, if Vic Fangio didn't sign off on it? Vic Fangio, whatever Jalen Ramsey has planned, with Jalen Ramsey, he will make it fit. Because that's what he does. And you know why we can have faith in that? Because he's a proven commodity. Everywhere Vic Fangio has gone, his defense has been rock solid. That's why everybody talked about how great of a move this was. It wasn't just, oh, he might be good. This isn't like the Mike McDaniel speculation. Can he be a good head coach? Can he build an offense? Can he do X, Y, and Z? No. This is a guy who's done it before. He's practically a legend in the NFL nowadays. So many teams have been trying to copy his defense because it's his defense. And now he's here running it for us. It's not somebody who's his protege. It's not somebody who learned from him and is trying to copy it to the best of their ability. It's the actual guy. And he's the one who signed off on trading for Jalen Ramsey. They are not going to touch this defense without Vic Fangio saying, I want him. And if there is a good player that can be used, again, Melvin Ingram, looking at you, dude. Take the no income state tax. Just come on back to Miami. Melvin Ingram was fantastic when he was early in the season. I think he got worn down a little bit because we used him more than we were supposed to. But for a dude who's going to come in here and basically be the extra pass rusher in a team that now already looks stacked with pass rushers, because Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb together, man, that's something. And then you're still going to have Brandon Jones who's going to be able to come down into the box and do what he does. You're still going to have guys all over the place who are able to make plays. How can you not look at this roster, even as is, and not be excited? Just tell me how. Jalen Ramsey makes so many doors open up. And there are a lot of players, by the way, who were saying, not even Dolphin players. Like, yeah, obviously the Dolphin players are excited. Bradley Chubb was very happy to see him. Brandon Jones was very happy to see him. You could argue that Xavien Howard is also going to be happy to see him because you know what? It was David Cantor, who is Xavien Howard's agent, who came out and said that Miami just became a no-fly zone. So I think it's safe to say that Xavien Howard is going to get along with Jalen Ramsey a little better than Byron Jones. And I think that's what that whole Instagram thing had to do with Xavien Howard. I think he may be implying that he's no longer interested in being the highest paid corner. He just wants to win a Super Bowl, which is good because that's a good priority to have. And we are still paying Xavien Howard a boatload to be Xavien Howard. How can you look at this team and not be excited, man? Just give me one reason why. The holes that we have left, the tight end position. Okay, fine. We can find a way around that. Maybe we could grab Foster Moreau. Dalton Schultz is out there. I know that's my dream. I know that the folks from 3 yards per carry kind of disagree with me, but personally, I think Dalton Schultz would fix that tight end room instantly. It would be expensive, don't get me wrong, but heck, since when has expensive matter for Chris Greer, apparently? He's managed to find ways to get everything else done. You want to argue right tackle? Okay, fine. Just for the sake of argument, not that I'm saying this is what I would want to do, this is my preferred option, but guys like Brandon Shell did a pretty darn good job. Like, if you go in there and you basically say, I'm going to train you, because I don't know what this Butch Berry guy, who the Miami Dolphins' new offensive line coach, is all about. Like, I've heard rumors about him, that he's hard-nosed, tough, difficult to get along with. If that's the case, okay, fine. Maybe he can get something out of these guys. I know that Matt Applebaum, the reports were coming out that Frank Smith, the offensive coordinator, basically had to spend most of his time in the offensive line room instead of actually spending time being an offensive coordinator. Maybe Butch Berry fixes that. Who knows? I don't know. Look at this team, everyone. Look at this team. If there was ever a year, and I'm going to say it now, the Miami Dolphins are making their Super Bowl run this year. If everything goes the way that it's supposed to go, let's say nothing catastrophic happens. Maybe Tua misses 2 or 3 games max with one cramp or some ankle injury or something along those lines. Whoever the backup quarterback is, even if it's Skylar Thompson, they're going to have enough weapons to at least be able to put up a fight. And even if that's the case, you still miss only 3 games. Miami's making the playoffs, okay? So as long as Tua's healthy for the playoffs, can you tell me what team in the NFL, and forget the AFC, the whole NFL, give me one team that the Miami Dolphins should be scared of? The Philadelphia Eagles, Manny, I love you, but Miami can keep up with these Eagles. The Chiefs, they just won the Super Bowl. Should I be scared of the Kansas City Chiefs if Miami is going to have this defense run by that defensive coordinator and that offense that we saw last season? I'm not scared of anybody at this point. And as a quick reminder, the offseason is literally just getting started. The trade won't be official until Wednesday. I get that. But there is no team in this league that I am looking at and saying, Miami's going to have trouble with these guys. If everybody stays healthy, or if just forget everybody, the main cast, we keep Jalen Ramsey and Xavien Howard on the field for the majority of the time. Just manage to keep the important guys off IR, and there's no limit to what this team can do. I'm excited. You should be too. This has been the first. This has been the first edition of Fins Nation with Louis Sung. I will be back tomorrow with more, and this is going to be a Monday through Friday show, folks. So bright and early, you're going to be getting Dolphins content every single weekday. And if you're working on the weekends, well, I guarantee you we will have more Dolphins content for you on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Make sure you're checking out PrizePicks.com, which is one of our sponsors, and make sure that if you are in the South Florida area, that you go to All Pro Construction Builders, who specialize in impact windows and door installations if you're looking to protect your home or business. There's so much stuff going on, guys, and I am, more than anything, I am hyped for this season. I am hyped to see what Chris Greer does next. Who knows? Maybe he pulls off a trade and gets rid of Austin Jackson and Noah McNogany. I doubt it, just because I think he's tied to Austin Jackson, if nothing else. Maybe Noah McNogany, at least. He was able to trade Kalen Ballage, for God's sakes. He could probably get something for those two. Anyway, that's it for this show. We will see you all next time, which is tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow, we're going to have more Fins Nation with Louis Sung.